What you got to say on this Tell It Tuesday? What you got to say on this Tell It Tuesday? Greetings, greetings, greetings. Welcome. My name is Tawana Nicole of Girl Power Gems. Welcome to my channel. If you like what you hear today, please subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the like button, hit that share button. This message, today's message, is something every woman needs to hear. That being said, let's move on. Today's topic is about loving yourself enough to know when a man is not right. You know, there's this TikTok viral video, well, 50 videos, if you will, going around by Risa Tisa. I think I'm saying her name correct. And her story really is a precautionary tale and a lesson to any woman within the sound of her voice is knowing your worth, loving yourself enough to see the red flags right away. I haven't watched all 50 videos. I may go back at some point and watch everything to really get her full story. But what I watched of it was reminiscent of a woman who didn't value herself. While, we all want that love thing, we all want to be loved. And when I tell you there is absolutely nothing wrong with wanting to be loved, nothing at all. And being able to love, right? So the long and the short of the story that I gathered from what I watched of the TikTok videos with Risa Tisa was that she met a man in March and they moved in with each other at the end of March, early April, because they happened to have met during the pandemic, literally, I guess that time frame, the week of the pandemic. And so she said as much as herself is when the pandemic hit, well, whose place we gonna stay at? Is it yours or mine? Because they had been talking to each other and I guess spending time with each other the last few weeks of the city being shut down. And so she felt she made a real connection with this guy because he kind of love bombed her in a sense. She had an unfortunate situation the very first date, and he swept in like a prince or a knight in shining armor and handled it. And so, for a woman probably who's never had that done for her in that manner, kind of got swept away in the fairy tale, and she got caught up in his vibrato, whatever it was. He was being a man's man according to what she said versus the stories, the ones that I listened to. He was, you know, pulling his weight and so on and so forth. And then all of a sudden lies began. And so he was telling too much of his story in the very beginning. He was doing too much in the very beginning. And then, of course, I'm sure eventually as the story unfolds, she starts to see the lies. But at that point, she's now wrapped up in this man. From what I gathered, she met the man, married the man, divorced the man. And they only met in 2020 and we just turned to 2024. So you can imagine what a whirlwind of a relationship that is, right? So imagine a woman who is in so need of love, and we ain't bashing her. There's no bashing here because I myself, while my story was not quite that way, I was in love with a man who was the sun, the moon, the stars. He was God, he was Thor, he was everything to me. And because he was everything to me, I wasn't a damn thing to myself because I didn't see the things that he was doing. You know what I'm saying? Like I saw them. Like she said, there was a lot of red flags, right? I saw them, but I loved him because I thought I could love him through it. But you know what that was essentially was? It wasn't me loving him through it. It was me trying to love him and love him enough so that he could turn around and love me and make me feel good about myself, because my self-worth was to the fucking floor. And I learned to love me. And once I learned to love myself, I was able to step away from that situation. I was able to stand strong in my resolve that that didn't serve me. And I want women to know that it is okay to want to be loved. You know, it's not a good feeling when you feel lonely and you don't feel like you're worthy of love. So you accept bullshit. Well, I'm telling you today, if you listen to nothing else in this message and you've made it this far, one red flag is not oh, he made a mistake or it must have been a mishap. No, that is your sign. Listen to your intuition. No DIC asterisk is worth your self worth. Men come a dime a dozen, and the right man is going to feel good. It's never articles of confusion in relationships, because people do have good relationships. There are people out there in the world that have fantastic relationships. They have honesty, they have care, they have love, they have true communication. You know, there's no backhandedness. Everybody is solid as solid can be. And even in their imperfections, those relationships are true. And oftentimes, you know, we're made to feel inadequate because we're not involved in a relationship with someone or whatever, right? Caught up in needing to be with a man and not feeling whole as a woman because we don't have a man, or we don't want to be alone. Half a man is better than no man. It's better to deal with the devil you know than the devil you know, man. It's better to forgive his cheating because every man's gonna cheat kind of man. It's better to deal with a lying man because every man's gonna lie to you kind of man. When in fact, that is not how it works. That is not how it's supposed to work. That is not what you should settle for. You should settle for loving you. That's the only settling you're gonna do. You walk away from relationships don't serve you. That makes you question your thinking, your sanity, is not a relationship you should be in, because it's gonna tear you down. And a man like that will use you up until you are no more, and they will suck the blood out of you and ask you, what are you dead? Why allow yourself to be in those perilous situations? So today, hard line. Love yourself. Know your worth. Walk the fuck away when you see a red flag. I don't care if it's a tiny red flag. I'm wearing red today just to show you this is a big red flag because I'm a big girl, right? You see color red that makes you feel something. Red means stop. Full stop. You see a red flag, that means a full stop. Let it go. Let it walk away. And that's all I have to say on this Tell It Tuesday. Thank you for joining me.
Hey, hey, hey. What you got to say on this Tell It Tuesday?